Good morning. Oh, we got a few more. Okay. Door slowly closing. Thanks, Mackenzie. Oh. Good morning. My name is Marianne Shoemaker, and I'll be your liaison this morning. And just a reminder, this is one of our short services where we do, where you have the responsibility of discussing the topic after an introduction. So we'll do that today. But as you are, you're welcome here. Visitor, friend, or longtime member, you're welcome here. With little children, with your partner, or alone, you're welcome here. You are welcome here as a believer or a doubter, a joiner or a loner. You are welcome here. Feeling a part of us or not, full of energy or not, seeking a vision or a rest, you are welcome to join us as you are. And we traditionally acknowledge that we are in the Aboriginal territories of the Salish, Nez Perce, Blackfeet, and Anishinaabe people who shared the Helena Valley as hunting grounds. The indigenous story of the Helena Valley began long before the arrival of Europeans. We honor those who walked here before us. We honor the path they have shown us in caring for this place for generations to come. We strive for justice and fair relations with their descendants. And if you will join me as Sam will light the chalice, and we will read or say together the lighting that we usually do. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning and celebration of the life we live together. Thanks, Sam. Okay, now, what is in your order of service is wrong. We are going to sing 361 in the Singing the Living Tradition book. There have just been too many emails back and forth, and I got confused. Let's see, do you think you need to play it through once, just so we have a sense of it? No? Okay, I think everyone will remember this. So stand if you're willing and able. Pardon?
But there are
5 verses, but they're short. We can do this. Yep. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. turn. For our first reading, I will share number 420 in the hymnal. If you'd like to get onto that page, you can, or you can simply listen. We are here to abet creation and to witness to it, to notice each other's beautiful face and complex nature, so that creation need not play to an empty house. And at this point, if anyone has some public kinds of joys and concerns they'd like to share with the group, I'll bring the mic around.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I have two joys to share today. The first joy is a couple weeks ago I was invited to be to give the sermon at the UUFB in Bozeman, the UU Church in Bozeman, and that was a really lovely experience, and it was fun. It's the second time I've been able to do that in a couple of years, and they all wanted me to bring good tidings from their church to ours, and we got to play Judy's song, the Journey song. The one that you sang. Yeah, so we played the video up on our projector, and everybody sang along, and it was really beautiful. And so I don't know if you guys know, but they're doing a settled minister search. And so Cass, I know they're going to be reaching out to you because they're going to want to come here in February, I think. Okay, good.
They want to test drive their prospect.
Pardon?
They want to test drive their
That's exactly right. So when they came to me and was like, do you know what to do? I'm like, I don't know. Talk to Cass. So, but they wanted me to make sure and extend their goodwill and love and good tidings to you guys. And then the second joy that I just wanted to bring, I haven't been able to share yet just because it's been hard for me to conjure up the words, but in August, my son Ezra, who is with us today and has been coming here to church, had a pretty life-threatening illness and some long-term consequences from that illness. And we had to bring him home from his sophomore year in college. He's had kind of a disrupted life since then, but he's recovering really well. And so my joy is that he is really on his way to a full recovery. And this last weekend, I was able to buy our tickets to go back to Miami, Florida, to take him back to college in January, which I'm very, very pleased about, and a little frightened, as you can imagine. But as I have mentioned to him and everybody else who's like, how can you let him go back? I can't let my own fears dictate his future dreams and life, and so off he goes and fly away and have a great life.
And as many mothers in here have done, not as traumatic as yours, but we've done it, yeah. It's a stretch. Anyone else? Yeah. The other mother.
Yesterday, I joined with quite a few other people here at Bob Morgan's celebration of life, and it was a beautiful service. Georgia and her partner did an excellent job leading it. It was entirely apparently planned by Bob ahead of time, which was impressive. And just what a light of a person. It truly felt like a celebration of life. He will be greatly missed by lots in this group and in so many groups. It was very apparent at the service yesterday. So just feeling him in my heart, and appreciative to Georgia and everyone who worked hard to put together a beautiful service yesterday.
You're back. Welcome.
Well, just basically, it's good to be back. I've been away for quite a long time, and in fact got really far away at one point, but I'm here, and it's wonderful to see you all, and that's my...
Glad you're here.
I just want to note the heaviness of my heart in light of world developments. And Judy and I had text exchanges this morning, swapping the most dire stories, including one from an Israeli who is so upset about basically how the world views what's going on in Israel, and the pro-Palestinian force breaks his heart as well. So I just am so confused and so heavy-hearted about it, and I'm sure I'm far from the only one in this room that is carrying that burden. So we hope for some relief.
Who do you see? They're doing a mom-kid thing, I think. Oh.
Hi, well, that's hot. Hi, my name's Mackenzie Jones, she, her. One of my joys is I just started rehearsals for A Christmas Carol. I know Helena has a lot of fun things that they get to do over the Christmas season with the Youth Grand Street Show, as well as Nutcracker on the Rocks and Nutcracker Ballet. But if you want another family-friendly event, it's going to be at the Civic Center Ballroom in the round, and it's open seating, so general seating, you buy your ticket ahead of time, get there and find your seat. It'll be a really fun, immersive event if you're able to go, but that's just something I'm really looking forward to every week right now. So, oh, it's December 19th to 23rd.
Liam, real quick.
I have a concern. My older sister, Summer, was in PE class, and she was running laps where she fell and hurt her knee, and she can't come today, sadly, because it's so hurt. We had to bring her to the doctor, and they told her to rest for a couple days, so that's my concern. Vivi, do you want to try? Okay.
And for all the unspoken joys and concerns, we will together hold them in our hearts. So we're going to thank you for all of the gifts that those of you share in this community to keep us going. We're going to do the offertory now. If you are visiting, your presence is your gift to us. And Sam and Mara, you're going to pass the plate. Thank you. Join us at number 25 in the Open Your Heart Songbook. Loving hands, your loving heart, your loving ways. Thank you for the gifts you bring into the world each day. And if you ever doubt yourself, remember us who love you So before Georgia comes up, I want to say briefly that this service is called Small Group Ministry. And since we don't have a minister, we minister to each other and share our thoughts and inspirations and wisdom. And I went to Georgia and said, got any ideas? Man, she came to my rescue right away. So, Georgia, would you share your thoughts?
I'm Georgia Lovelady, she, her. Mackenzie reminded me of that when she introduced herself. And so the inspiration for this topic was that several things came together over the summer. Later I was asked to speak at Bob's celebration of life, but it wasn't the genesis of this. And what's interesting is that I thought, so some ideas came up about death and burial, and I was like, they're swirling in my head, and I wanted to discuss it with fellow UUs, because we are on our own search for truth and meaning. So I know we visit at coffee, but I wanted to go a lot deeper, and this was when Marianne asked, I go, oh yeah, I've got something. So the first thing that happened this summer was my dear neighbor came back from snowbirding in Arizona, and she had lost her husband of 65 years. And she and her husband were originally Catholic and raised their kids that way, but at some point they fell away and just stopped going to church altogether. But her comment was, she said, I can't bring myself to believe in the fiction of an afterlife. And that would be so comforting to me if I could. And the religious people in my life offer that, like you will see Tom again, you know. And so that whole question of the afterlife came to me. The second was I watched this documentary on a discovery of a cave of bones. And the more they delved into it, they realized it wasn't animals that had drugged the bones in there, that they belong to a hominid species not yet discovered. They aren't Homo sapiens. I mean, they're not in the human line. I don't know how you'd say that. But when they looked at the arrangement of the bones and that there were 15 different individuals, they realized they were looking at a graveyard. So up until now, the earliest known burial rites were 150,000 years ago. This would push it back to 300,000 years ago, as best as they can, determine. So it turns out we and other primates have been burying our dead for a very long time. But why do we do that? And is this a religious practice? And does it mean that religion started that far back? So the question comes out is what's the meaning of burial rites? And in olden times, as Becky pointed out to me, they did it for health reasons, in order to remove the decaying body from the living and keep everyone safe. There were basic emotional reasons, like you don't want to watch your loved one decompose. You don't want animals to scatter their bones. So what does adding a religious ceremony to a burial practice contribute? And one of the reasons it came up in this discovery was they found that one of the skeletons had a tool, a very primitive tool, clenched in his hand. And so the anthropologists on the team hypothesized, did these primates believe in an afterlife? I mean, because part of that is, would he need this tool when he went into an afterlife? Or maybe it could have just been a prized possession that they buried with him. But it raised all these anthropological questions. And if so, is that really an indication of a religion? I don't know. sort of the mind of, well, I'll get to that. As far as we know, humans are the only living creatures who know they're going to die. Other animals we've witnessed that they grieve for their dead once it happens. I think one of the famous examples are that elephants do that. So how does knowing about our mortality shape us? Is this the origin of religion? That conflict between living and knowing you're going to die? I personally believe that religion is a human construct. You don't have to share that. We humans somehow need it and construct it in its many forms. And I kind of think if there isn't a God, we would have created one, or we do create one. Some say religion serves the purpose of controlling the masses. Some say it was used to comfort, the idea of a heavenly afterlife was used to comfort those that are or were living a miserable existence on earth. Some think of the afterlife as a comfort to those left behind, that we will see our loved ones again. Some say they use the threat of Judgment Day to create morality and charity in our present life. So I have all these questions like, does this knowing of our eventual death make us live differently? I think most of us cannot keep that in our minds all the time. We have to live in a state of denial so we can move through our daily lives. I know that people that have had near-death experiences talk about that experience enables them to live very fully in the present. And I've actually wondered, how could I get that feeling without the near-death experience? Don't want to do the first part. But I think we've all heard that about trying to be in the present moment, and that those who have had those experiences get there. So I come to you with questions, not answers. Like, what is the origin of religion? Does it relate to knowing we will die? And so in your order of service, there's 3 groups of questions. I'm deviating a little bit from how we usually do small group ministries, and the fact that you do not have to answer them all. I would suggest that you read them and then pick the number that you want, or answer parts of all of them, but it's more of and give everybody a chance to speak, but to answer the group of questions that speak to you most. And then if you have time to go on to something else, that would be fine. And so Judy.
I just have a question. There weren't orders of service for everybody, so. There haven't been a lot of people showing up. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying we didn't get any, we didn't get the memo. One for their group. Okay, so we need several, so we can share.
So, is there somebody at the back that doesn't have one?
Well, are we counting off?
Oh, wait.
We'll do that in a minute. Yeah.
So while we're getting programs to people, I think we should count off. I have not done the count, so let me.
To what? There's 32 people.
32 people? And so,
6 groups of 4.
4? No, isn't that 24? Wait, isn't that, so 5 groups would be, but let's do 5 in every, unless these questions.
5 in every group?
That's what I'm thinking.
Just make a decision.
5. Okay, so I'm going to have Karen McLean start with the count off.
1, 2.
I should have started.
3. Who did 4? You did 4.
Okay, I guess we're
1, 2. Judy, 3. 4. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay. 5. Thank you. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Yeah. 4.
so when you get into your groups, if you could share, check in with each other and make sure everybody has a question to look at. Okay?
Yeah, and let's take about 20 minutes. And we're gonna, it'd be a miracle if we ended early, and let's go for it.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know what the conclusions are from the other groups as well as my group. Is that possible to share?
I think we have time if someone wants
So
to.
there are pens in the pews, so if somebody in the group could take a few notes, or maybe this is the best thought that came out of our group to share at the end, does that make sense? Just one sharing from each group, is that sufficient, you think?
Yeah, and let's move through it pretty.
And do we all know the protocol?
It's listed.
It's listed in your program.
Okay.
Everybody gets a chance to speak. Take 1 or 2 minutes, more if you need it, and then have someone that's going to report back from your group, and
Maybe when you
just 1 or 2 points. Okay. I don't know what I've got here. All right, let's disperse.
So one's up here, two's by the piano, three's by the